everybody. Happy Sunday. It's been kind of a nice day, although I've been in the house the whole day working on multiple things. So how is everybody this evening? Hopefully everybody can find me tonight. We're going to do some more of the Kimberbell Cuties. These are really fun. I'm really enjoying doing these. And this one's a fun, easy one. So should be pretty easy to do. And I did a little bit of pre-sewing so that you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me sew little squares together. So just like I got to turn my fan on, it got too warm. I was walking before I got on tonight. So how's everybody doing tonight? Let me see if I can see the comments here. Hello. Cool. Let's see if my comments are good. The comments are coming through on the tablet too, so that's always good. So we'll give it a few minutes so people can get in. Sometimes it's hard to find the videos on Facebook. Sometimes they send the notifications out and sometimes they don't. So it's just, how is the weather? Shannon, it's actually very nice here. It was still almost 50 degrees and it's 6 o'clock. So I haven't really been out though today. I spend most of my day Sunday working in the house. So I've been on the phone and working with dad's stuff, and I got to take his taxes up to have that done. So got that ready to go up to the accountant tomorrow. And I got to go up and do some cleaning at the house. And so friend's going to come help me pick up a cabinet that needs to come down to here. So it's going to get picked up and taken down tomorrow. So oh, that must be Lynn. Hey, Lynn, you need to go okay Facebook to let you see your name again. So can you hit that little link when you're done tonight? Yeah, send some 50. Is it cooler up there, Shannon? I wondered if maybe it was cooler up there. So how is everybody? Boy, there's all kinds of you here. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm glad I enjoy doing this on Sunday night. It's like the highlight of my day. Sundays are my days to stay home and work. You know, I work on stuff. And today I'm going to take a card making class next weekend. So I got kind of everything kind of organized for that. Oh, I'm trying to recover from picking up tree branches. Who was that? Oh, that's Cindy. Oh, you've had some storms down there, haven't you, Cindy? Have you had really, really bad ones? I hope not. So, okay. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start working on the April Kimberbell Quilty or Kimberbell Cutie. So this is the April one, and this is the one with the little umbrellas on it. It's so cute. And this was a really nice, easy one because it didn't have a real hard center or anything. So this one's really fun. So let me get my banner turned off here. All right. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to piece this tonight. And the whole center is strip piece, so it goes really quick. Okay. And then also I wanted to show you let me go back to my comments here. Let me show you. Yes, the center was fun. Now, I'm not sure that I did it the way the instructions said, so I'll just show you the way I did it. So I kind of look at the pictures. I have a feeling sometimes I don't read all the instructions and I kind of look at the pictures. So I think I did it a different way than they did, but it still worked out just fine. So you can see the way I did it. So anyway, I did remember we are having a drawing. So don't forget, for those of you who are coming in late, we're going to have a drawing, and all you have to do to be entered is to comment. Okay. So comment and we will have a drawing. Oh yeah. Shannon got it. She sent me a picture. So this week I'm going to give away, we're getting on to Easter. So here's a little Easter. This is one of those little mini quilts that fits in that 6-inch frame. And so I'm going to give this away. And then also, since it's also getting close to St. Patrick's Day, I've got one of the little pins that we did on Shields Live this week. So here's one of the little lace pins. So these two little things will go to someone today. Okay. So remember, you have to comment. That's how you, this was fun. This was a software class, and we did, the little Hoppy Easter we did, foam, like the puffy foam. So the tail and the little outline is done with the puffy foam. So it was fun. That way we did that in the software. So it was kind of a fun little project. So anyway, so that's the prize. Okay. So remember to comment. I'm going to set it over here so I won't lose it. So, and then we're going to start working on this. So let me show ahead. We'll go ahead and get started on this, and I'll go through some of the cutting and the fabrics and all that stuff first. Okay. Let me get sorry, I'm kind of out of breath. I've been walking. I walk. And so often when I'm home, I do a lot of walking to keep my steps up. And I was walking right before I sat down. So I'm like, oh, I've been walking for about an hour. Okay. Let's see. Got to get the right camera here. Change the microphone. Okay. So you laid this over here. Might need to look at that again. All right. So let's talk about the fabrics for this one. So you're going to need, there wasn't a ton of fabric in any of these, but there's not a ton of fabric in any of these. And so I did a lot of mine. I cut a lot of mine out of scraps. Okay. So you don't need a ton of fabric. So the first two pieces that you need are the center blocks. And what you do, and I've already trimmed mine so you didn't have to sit here and watch me do all of this. I think you can handle this. You cut, you need strips of two colors, and I used a white and a gray. Okay, so here's my white and my gray. And then you cut, let me see, those are going to be 2 1/4 inch by 21 inch strips. Okay, so you're going to cut 3 white ones and 3 gray ones. Okay, and then, so that I already trimmed mine, so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me trim all those little blocks. Okay. And then you need the white background for the applique, and that is was a 14-inch square. Okay. And so I have a kind of a tone on tone white, 14-inch square, and then you cut it in, cut it corner to corner. So you're going to have 4 triangles, right? I think it was a 14-inch square. Yeah, 14-inch square. And then these are the ones, don't forget to put the shape flex on the back of the corners, because we're going to be embroidering on these. So you got to put shape flex on the back of those corners to give it a little more body. Okay, so that is so I usually put the shape flex on the 14-inch square, and then I cut the whole thing with the shape flex because it's just easier. Okay, so there's the white. And then we needed inner borders, and I made those yellow, this kind of little plaid yellow. And those are 1 1/2. So there's 2 that are 1 1/2 by 11 and 2 that are 1 1/2 by 13 of those. Did I use a 14-inch ruler? No, I didn't actually. I just cut them corner to corner. I just cut them corner to corner with my regular ruler. I don't have a lot of square rulers. I have long, narrow rulers, but not too many square ones. Okay, and then we needed, the outer borders. So the outer borders on this one were actually solid. So you didn't piece these. Some of them have been pieced. So this one, these are going to be, I'd made them out of this blue with the little flowers. And I think those were 4 that were 2 1/2 by 18. So I got those cut. And then let's see, what else did we need? We needed, binding. So I've got my binding. My backing's the same as my borders. So here's my backing fabric. And then we needed binding, and I made my binding red polka dots to go with my backing. So there's my binding and my backing. And then let's see. Oh, here we go. And then we need, we need some little red, yellow corners. So I made my 4 little corners pieces for the outside corners on the border, the yellow. And then I think those are upside down. Let's try turning them right side up for you. There you go. And then I need 4 pieces for the umbrellas. So these are the umbrellas. And I just picked some pretty colors that went with everything. So I had some yellow and some pink and red and blue. And I think these were, let me see if I can tell you how big these were. I probably wrote it on the back here. I cut those four, let's see, four of them that were 6 by 3.5. So these are 6 by 3.5, these pieces. And these are we'll use these next week for the appliques. Okay. Okay. So that's your fabric. And the first thing we're going to do is we took those strips that we cut in the gray and the white. They were 2 1/4 by 21, and you sew them together in pairs or in like in 3 pieces. So what I did, there's one that's sewed together with 2 whites with the gray in the middle, and one unit that's sewed together with 2 grays with the white in the middle. Okay. And then you're going to press your seams towards the darker color. In this case, it's the towards the gray. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm glad to do that, Anna. You don't really need, I mean, so what I've been doing, I know a lot of people have been struggling a little bit with the fabric. So what I do is I just kind of look at the pictures, and you can change the colors, of course, if you want, but I have a tendency to kind of do something similar to what's in the book just because I'm making samples for the store. So what I did is I just kind of looked at my fabric and I kind of picked fabrics that were close. So that's what I did. And there was kind of a gray fabric in the center, and I had some pretty a gray and kind of a white with a little polka dot. So they're little dots. Okay. Yes, you cut the 14-inch square with the shape flex. Don't forget to put shape flex on the back of it. Corner by corner to corner. So you can see this picture right here, corner to corner. So you're going to have 4 triangles. So you cut one way, this way, and then this way, and it makes 4 triangles. So here's the picture right here, okay, in the book. So yes, so those are cut already. I cut my 14-inch square into these 4 triangles. Okay. Then so the first thing we're going to do, and I've already done this because I didn't figure you needed to sit here and watch me sew strips together. So I think you can understand this. So I made my first unit out of those 21-inch strips that were 2 1/4, I believe. I made one with the white, gray, white, and the other unit with the gray, white, gray. Okay. Sewed them together all the way down the 21-inch piece. And then I pressed the seams towards the darker colors. So in this case, towards the gray. So this one, I pressed the seams outward, and this one, I pressed the seams inward, okay, towards the gray. That way we can nest the seams when we go to put these together. So does everybody understand that? So I figured I'd do a little pre-sewing so you wouldn't have to watch me do all that. I thought everybody could get that. Okay. So after you have these sewn together in these units and you have them pressed, then you're going to, and that's in this little illustration right here. So let me get this down a little bit so you can see it. You're going to subcut each group, so each one of these, into 2 1/4-inch strips. Okay. So what I did is I took this, and I took my ruler, and I'll just demonstrate on my machine here so you can kind of see. Okay. I'll just demonstrate here. So I took this, I kind of squared it up a little bit on the bottom. As you can see, there's plenty. So if you make a mistake, there's plenty here, because this is what I had left. And you're going to take your ruler, you're going to have it squared up, and then you're going to, cut these at 2 1/4 inches, and you're going to cut across this way. So then you'd have a gray, a white, and a gray square here, or in this case, a white, a gray, and a white square. Okay. And then we're going to finish putting these together. So this is like called strip piecing. So it makes it really fast to do a whole bunch of squares. So this is kind of like a checkerboard. Okay. So you're going to cut 6 units that are going to look like this. Now these are here's the white ones. Okay. And here's the ones with the gray on the outside. Okay. So I got 6 units out of each one. So I'd have a total of 12, but I've already sewn together 1 unit together so you can see. Now, this is where I think I read the instructions wrong, and I know I did my other one this way too, but I think it says to sew like the unit with the two whites and the two grays together like this, and then sew them together in rows. But what I did is I sewed them together in these two rows. So like this, and it still turns out the same. So it's fine. So what I did, I got my first section done. So the first section, I started with the two whites at the top, and I sewed together a white, gray, white, and then a gray, white, gray, and then a white, gray, white, and a gray, white, gray. Okay. And I sewed 6 of them together like this. Then to do the other side, so this is what we're going to start with. This one's going to be starting with the gray. So we'll start and do these. Let me get some pins here. Okay. So we're going to do our second section of this, the checkerboard. So we're going to start out because, you know, we want this to go right here. So we're going to start out with the gray, and we're going to sew it to one that has the 2 whites. Okay. Like this. And I'm going to nest my seams since I sewed them in, or I pressed them in separate or in opposite directions towards the gray. I know that they are going to be able to nest my little seams together there. You can feel them just drop right in. So you can move them with your finger and get them right in the right spot. Okay. So then we're going to sew these 2 together using my 1/4 inch seam, and I'm using Q02 on my machine. Give me a second. I got to arrange the camera so I can get my arm around it here. I'm kind of used to sewing with the camera in front of me now, so I'm doing better. I remember when I first started doing these, it was real hard. So I need to get to Q02. Q02, I'm using 2.5 for the length of my stitch because I make a lot of mistakes and I don't want to have to rip the 2.0. Okay, so we're going to sew the 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to very slowly go over those. And remember, I never go over a pin other than these little teeny, skinny little magic pins. So pull your pins. I always have seams that get out of alignment if I pull my pins. Okay. So we needed this to be, this is the top one, this is the second one, and then we're going to go back to the 2 grays. So I'm going to get another unit here that has the 2 grays. Match my little seams up here. Pin those in place. This is the way I did. I know I did my other one this way. I don't think it really matters. They're still going to turn out the exact same way. So you can do it in rows if you want, but I don't know. It just seemed faster this way. I don't know. So it sounds like everybody's had a kind of a busy Sunday. You've been working outside if it's warmer, or have you been, I just did a lot of little stuff today. A lot of little stuff. Okay, we're going to do the second row. You got 3 rows together here. So let's see, which one are we on now? So now we need to do 2 white ones. So this one. So these are really fun to do. Strip piecing is pretty easy. It doesn't take long to do. So I love this. This was one of my favorite ones so far. Yes, these are extra fine magic pins. I only use, this is the only pins I use. I will never drive over any other pin besides these because they are so soft that I know I'm not going to damage my machine. So I would not recommend doing this with any other pin. And I've looked for pins, and these are like super duper sharp. Love these magic pins. So they are up on the website. They're magic pins. They're patchwork extra fine. And the ones I happen to be able to get are these flathead pins now. The ones on the website, they're up there. You just need to look for magic pins. My problem was these flat ones. The ones I've been able to get lately are the flat heads, and the ones on the picture on the website are the round heads. The ones on the picture on the website are these, but these are the same pins. They just have flat heads. So if you order those, this is what you're going to get right now, because these have been out of stock for a while. So I've got the flatheads. I need to change the picture. That's all I need to do is just change the picture. I just haven't got, I keep forgetting to do it. So I really like these flathead ones. So if you order the regular pins that are up there, you'll get the flathead pins right now, because that's what I've got. And I've got them on order because I was out of them again. All right, so there's the gray. We need a gray one again. Okay, so this is the next one. Yep. Or if you order them and you put a note, hey, I want the flathead pins, put them on there. You know, just say that, and they're the same price. They're still the same price. So, and I've got the box of 100 up on the website. So, but if you just go on the search on the website and search for magic pins, they'll come up. But these are so sharp. So I am so spoiled because I used to buy pins like at Joann's or someplace, and I'll tell you, they are so dull. These are like the best pins ever. I like sharp pins. But you can see I don't drive over them very fast. I just kind of take my time. But yeah, if you definitely want the flathead pins, Cindy, just write in the little note flathead pins, and that's what I've got coming because the other ones have been back ordered. So, all right, so then we got one more to do here. So put this one on, and then I'm going to go press these. So I'll have to get up to press. I left my iron. It's easier for me to press over on the table. So I left my iron over there. Oops. Just about stabbed myself. Yeah, I really like these flat ones. I like them both. I mean, I think I like them both. So the flat ones actually are easier to get a hold of, I think, but I've used them both. I like them. I've got packages of both, so. All right. But do not try this with those great big huge yellow quilting pins because it will not work. Oh, thank you, Shannon. Did you find the listing on the website and post it? She posted it on there, so thank you. Okay, so here is my second unit. So it's going to go together like this. Okay, so what I did, the extra fine are the only ones I'd recommend. So somebody asked me if you can go over the anything but the extra fine, and I would not. These are so thin. I mean, see how thin these are? I mean, I can just bend these by just going like this with my finger. See, look how I can bend them. They're so soft that I'm okay with these. Okay. All right. So what I did with these after I got my first unit done, yes, you can iron over them because the heads do not melt. Yes, you can iron over them too. The heads don't melt on either one. So these are the two heads. This is the ones I've usually had on the website, but all I can get right now is the flat ones. So either one, this is the ones you'll get right now. I'm going to put the picture up, I think, for the flathead pins. But these have been out of stock for a while. But yes, you can iron over either one because these don't melt. Okay, so what I did with my first, this is my first section. I want to pressed my seams upward and towards the white, and this one I'm going to press my seams downward towards the white section because I want to make sure that my seams are opposite of each other. So I'm going to press these down towards the white, double white squares. Okay, so give me just a second. I'll do that real quick. All right, so it goes like this with the gray at the top. Okay, so this goes to, the gray goes to the top, and so when I press the seam downward, then this seam right here is pressed upward and I can nest my seams again. So now I'm just going to take the two halves and put them together. Now, like I said, I think they did it in narrow strips, but I thought this just seemed faster to me. So I did it kind of backwards, but you know what? It still turns out exactly the same. So whatever you want to do. Sometimes I'm inventive with my piecing. So I'm going to put a pin on all those little junctions so that they stay nice and nested for me. Whoops. Boy, this one got kind of messed up, didn't it? See if I can get it pressed down. Okay. I think I better put a pin on this side. So that one's kind of got a little messy. Yeah, I kind of like the flat ones. I wasn't sure if I'd like them, but I tried them. Was it a couple weeks ago? I tried them when we were doing the piecing, and man, I really like them. And they are easy because you can grab them, like when you're trying to take them out, you can grab them like this and they come out so much easier than, you know, the other ones do. All right, so then we're going to sew this one together. We're still using our 1/4 inch seam. Yes, this is my artist interpretation. That's a good way to put it, Anna. Was it Anna or Shannon? Oh, Shannon that said that. But it still turns out the same way, doesn't it? Okay, so then we're going to do our 1/4 inch seam. Down through the center here. See, I think I'm a little off down here. These have been really fun for me because I don't get to piece much, and I actually kind of like it. I just like to sew, and so these have been really fun because I've actually, you know, it's a nice way for me to piece. It gives me a chance. I don't piece traditionally too much, so I enjoy it. Okay, so we'll take these out, and that's our center. Look at there, and it should measure 11 inches. Okay, and let's see how we did. I need to press it, of course. Now, I am going to press this seam. I may press this seam. Well, I don't know that it would really matter. This is not real heavy fabric. You could press it open if you wanted to, or press it to the side. I think this one I can press to the side. Oh, I like to do the binding. I love binding. I do lots of binding. Okay, so let's see how we did for 11 inches that way. 11 inches that way. I think we did okay. All right, so let me go press this real quick, and then we'll go move on to the small borders. Okay, so what do you think? There we go. See how fast that was? I mean, and granted, I did just a little bit of sewing, but it only took me about, well, I didn't start working on anything until like 5 o'clock tonight to do pre-sewing. So it only took me about 20 minutes to get everything trimmed, sewn together, trimmed, and then got half of this done. So this little section goes together pretty quickly. Okay. All right. So let's see what we got here. So the next step says, I kind of like the, if you don't get 11 inches, do you get out of the seam? Do you get out the seam? No, actually, well, if it's really, really, really off, if it's just a little bit off, don't be worried about it. You know, mine is like so little off. You know, right now it is about 11. It's just about 11 and a 16th. All right. So no, I don't, because when it's that close, I figured that's close enough. You know, if someone's looking that close, they're looking too close. All right. So mine's about 11 and a 16th square. So it'll be fine. Okay. So let's go ahead. And then the next step is going to be, we're going to put the borders on. So now we're going to put the 11-inch borders on 2 of the sides. So let me find my little yellow borders here. Let's see. You know, some things that you piece have to be squared up. So like when you're doing half square triangles and different things like that, then you have to. But this is so close. If you're accurate with your 1/4 inch seam, you're going to be within, like I said, mine's about a 16th of an inch maybe off. And so try to be accurate with your 1/4 inch seam. Okay. And as you get better at it, you will be better at it. All right. Okay. I don't think anybody else is having trouble, Jan. No one else has said anything. Everything looks good on my screen, and my all my stuff on my computer on my screens looks okay. Sorry about that, Jan. Do you ever reset your router or modem, Jan? If you're using the router and modem from Mediacom, you have to reset it regularly. I mean, like I do mine. I did mine up at Dad's like at least once a week. Okay. This one here I don't have to do as often. I do have to do it occasionally, but all right. So we're going to do our 1/4" seam again here. I like to tie off on my borders so that I have a little extra strength on the edge. But it's also Sunday night and everybody's probably home for the weekend and they're watching TV and streaming. So it depends on where you are on probably the Mediacom line. I'm looking forward to getting fiber optic internet. Fiber optic internet is coming out here to my trailer court, I think in March or April. So this is March now. So I'm hoping I will have it pretty soon. They said spring, so I'm assuming it'll start pretty soon. So there's one of them. Let's do the other side here. So we'll put the little yellow ones. I like this yellow. This I got this for a class. I think it was a Kimberbell class of some sort that I got this fabric for, and I had a little extra left over to make use for a couple of these cuties. All right. So I'm kind of pinning down those little seams so that they won't bunch up on me. Nothing bothers me more than have my seams that I've gotten nice and flat. Will it be expensive? I don't think it's going to be any more expensive than Mediacom, than my cable internet. I would guess. I don't know. Can't remember what they said. I think it's going to be maybe around $70 or $80 a month. Up at my dad's, I was paying $70. So, and I had fiber optic at the end there up at my dad's. That was the bummer. I had to give up my fiber optic when I came home. I was so disappointed. The difference between the fiber optic and the cable, the fiber optic internet, the upload and the download are very close to being the same. So like if you get like 500 speed, you're going to get that for upload and download with fiber optic. But with like so for instance, I'm on the 1 gig plan from Mediacom because they had a special on it. But that's my download speed, but my upload speed is only 60. So there's like a huge difference in upload and download speed. And so with the fiber optic, they're normally very, very close to each other. All right, so there's the two sides. So I'm going to go press these. I'm going to go ahead and press these outward, I think, on this one. And then we'll do the other one. All right. So there's my yellow. I like the yellow and the gray. 20 down, 5 up. Yeah, somebody has, yes, somebody has, are you on a phone company? Because if you're on a phone company, like that's what we had at the store. But I could still do classes at the store. That's what we had was 20 down, 5 up at the store. And then we just got 5. We're on fiber optic now too at the store. So it's nice that the new fiber optic company came in and we were able to get on phone and internet with them at the store too. So it's much better now. You're in the boondocks. Yeah, sometimes if you're in a more rural area, you don't have too many options. But if you have the option to get on fiber optic, do it. It's way good. And it's much more reliable. mean, I hardly ever have. So this is the longer ones. These are the 13-inch ones. So we're going to put this one on the other two sides. But these are, but it's really reliable. I really liked it up at Dad's. It was so much better than MediaCom. MediaCom was just horrible up there. It's hard, internet's hard. And, we rely on it so much that if you don't have it, boy, do you notice it. If something's not working, you really notice it, don't you? I know I do, because I use my internet so much. That's how I watch TV and everything. So, all right. So we'll do the other side. Maybe I'll pin the other side too while we're doing this. We'll flip it over and do this side. I like to pin the ends first, and then I know I've got it even. Yeah, that's the only bad thing when you're home. Yeah, in the summer and like this time of night, it's usually kind of bad because a lot of people are home. Yep, I'm on would be really good, Jan. I'm on is what we're on at the store. That's the fiber optic company in our area. So they're really good. That's what we have at the store. Kind of got this one off a little bit here, so just a second. Haven't quite gotten my center figured out here. But yeah, so out here, I think I'm on the telephone company from North Liberty. It's a town about 5 miles north of me, and it's called South Slope. So I've had South Slope for years. With other stuff, I haven't had it for a while, but. Am I far from the store? I'm actually about 12 miles from the store. I live in Coralville, and the store is in Iowa City, so it's about 12 miles east of me. So I drive about 25 miles round trip every day. It's a lot better than at Dad's when it was 80. So it's not, still takes me 20 minutes to get home though. Okay, so now we're going to do these two. Yep, at Dad's it was an hour one way. So I don't have to drive near as much. Boy, I don't go through as much gas either. I'll tell you. The gas was crazy. The gas was crazy expensive at that time too. And so I'm going over these real easy. The gas was just crazy expensive when I was having to drive too. Made it hard. I only go through like 1 tank of gas a week now. It's great. To the university, yeah, the University of Iowa is a good university. I went to Northern Iowa in Cedar Falls. I have an education degree from there. I had my choice of the 3 state universities. I could not go to like a private college or out of state. That's what my parents gave me the choice of. Yes, I remember when I was teaching, when I first started teaching, the gas was 99 cents a gallon. And I was driving quite a bit then too, because I drove from a little town called Marengo to near Iowa City to teach, and it was about half an hour drive, and it was 99 cents a gallon. I remember that. 29 cents. I remember, Jan, because you're a little older than I am, but I remember though when we went on vacation one summer, my dad was horrified that he had to pay 75 cents a gallon for gas on the interstate. He just thought that was horrible. And that was the year, what year would that have been? I think I was 13, so it'd been about 1978. Oh, really? Yeah, I got my new car last February, and I have over almost 21,000 miles on it. But see, I was driving back and forth to work from Dad's. I got to go back up there again tomorrow because I got to do some more stuff at the house and I got to drop his taxes off. So I went up yesterday and did some work in the barn, talked to the neighbor. So what is gas now for us? I think it's $3.29 is what I paid. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and press these out. So give me a second. All right. I don't know. I kind of like that gray and yellow, don't you? There we go. 385. Oh wow, 385. Yeah, it's you're up there in Wisconsin. It depends on where you're at. I mean, it's come down a little bit here. It was 319, and I think this week it was 329 though. And I got gas. Okay, so the next step, what does it say to do next? So the next step says to put the triangles on. So when I do the triangles, I like to fold my unit in my center unit here in half, so I know where the center is. I know I love yellow. Yellow is such a happy color. I need to paint something in my house yellow. I've always, when I was at mom and dad, you know, my room at mom and dad's I've never remembered it being anything but yellow. And it's about this color yellow. It was a real light yellow. And I really like yellow. And I need to paint like my living room or something yellow. It's such a happy color. Okay, so I've got those marked because I wanted to mark the centers. And then I'm going to take, here's my triangles, you know, with the shape flex. Don't forget the shape flex. I'm going to fold these in half also along that straight edge and mark the center. Yellow is a sign of money. Well, that's not me. That's not me, Jan. But I do love yellow. It's such a happy color. All right, so we're going to put these two on. I'm going to pin the center, bring it out here. Like this. I always like to pin down that little junction there where the border is. Oh, and by the way, I've done these up through July. Did I show you the June and July one? So anyway, if you're working ahead a little bit, be aware that the July one was a little weird. Mine did not come out size-wise too well. So you really have to cut your borders a little bit bigger. It was there was no way I could get the center section to be the size they said it was supposed to be, because otherwise you would have cut off your points on your the center part. So just be aware that the July one might be a little weird. So if you're working ahead, you might want to text me and I'll tell you what I found out about the July one before you do it. The June one's okay. All the rest of them so far have been fine. It was just July was weird. In fact, there were two things that were weird about it. Oh yeah, 50 cents would buy a gallon of gas and an attendant would pump it for you. I know. I miss people coming out and pumping your gas for you. Wasn't that awesome? I remember them coming out and pumping the gas. In fact, my dad did that for a long time when he was real young. He worked at a Chevy garage and they had a gas station too. So he would go out and pump people's gas for them. He worked in the office. He was the bookkeeper, but he also pumped gas for people. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Things have changed a lot, haven't they? All right, so we're going to do our 1/4 inch seam again, and we're going to sew these. You know, I still haven't got this camera just in the right spot. Second here, I got to rearrange here. I'm kind of having trouble. There we go. My arm's in the way. All right, so we're going to do our 1/4 inch seam again. And I'm going to kind of tie these off too. All right, and we're going to slowly go down over those pins. Like I said, I never do this with any other pin. I would not recommend it. These I can pull. Like lots of times here, like here, I can pull this out. And I often do when I'm doing just straight stitches like this. I like to pin though. But I really like these flat heads because see, you can grab a hold of them really easy. And they just come out really. But when I'm doing like little blocks like that, if I take that pin out, my junction is always off. Every single time. So that's why I finally found pins I could use. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, they had remember the suckers that had like the twine handles on them? That's the one they usually had at the gas station. Oh yeah, I got those too. I remember that. Oops, get my pins here. Let's do the other side. Does that mean we're old, that we remember all these things? But you know what? I'm so glad I grew up when I did. It was great being a kid. The safety sucker. You sell those pins through the store? Yes, Denise. The new ones. So the up on the website, it's going to show the regular ones. These, okay, on the picture. But the only ones I can get right now are the flat heads. So if you order them, they'll be flat head. Okay. And I have them. I can just send them down to Davenport if you want them. You can text me if you want some of these. But these flathead ones are awesome because see, I can just grab it and go like this. They're easier to get a hold of. I didn't know if I'd like them or not, so I thought, well, I'll just try them since that's all I can get right now, and I really like them. All right, we're going to tie off down here. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I grew up when I did. Okay, so now I'm going to go press these, and I think I'm going to press these. As I remembered, I pressed these in towards the inside, just because they laid flatter then. So let me go get these pressed. Okay. So there's the first two. Okay. And yeah, I pressed the seam in, so you can see here on the back. Pressed it inward. They just laid flatter. Yep. Oh, somebody else thanks, Shannon. Shannon put the pins up on the link to the pins again. Okay, so there's those. So I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors, and I'm just going to kind of nip these little corners off here so that it's easier to line it up. You can do that with your rotary cutter too if you like, but you know, I'm kind of scary with the rotary cutter, so I do a lot of stuff with scissors. Okay, so there's the first two sides. Now we're going to take the other ones. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold this in half. Oh yeah, you had to be home before dark. I did too. I had to be home by supper time, and supper time was always at 5:30, so I had to be home by 5:30. All right, so I'm going to fold that in half, and we're going to mark the center here. You know, and it's amazing. It's funny because all these kids now have cell phones, and it's like my mother knew exactly where I was at all times. She didn't need me. I didn't need to have a cell phone. She knew exactly where I was. So somebody asked me, well, how do you know where your kid is? It's like my mother always knew where I was. She didn't have any problem keeping track of me. And we didn't have cell phones. We had a rotary dial telephone on the wall. Okay, so I'm going to fold this one in half also. Oh yeah, I could go back out in the summer up for a while until it got dark, till the street lights came on. When the street lights came on, I had to come home. And I couldn't go past a certain place in the neighborhood. I could only go as far as there was a hill kind of down the street about 3.5 blocks or something. And I could only go as far as that hill. I couldn't go any further without permission. So even when I was older, yeah, we're having lots of fun talks tonight. I'm trying to read the comments as they're going flying past pretty fast. So, oh yeah. Well, we didn't have that at night. We had the noon whistle. Somebody said they had a whistle in the evening. We had a noon whistle, so ours went off at noon. So we always knew when it was noon. But the night one, it was the street lights. When the street lights came on, I better be heading home or home. Yeah, every time I go up to Dad's, I think of that kind of stuff because there's a street light at the kind of the lower lot, and I remember that's always been there as long as I've been around because I've never remembered it not. But Dad said it was so dark down there before my dad had that put in. Yep, my dad would whistle too, but not for me. But I could hear him coming up the street because he liked to whistle. So he whistled when he walked. And if he was coming up the street, I'd hear him whistling. Yep. Neighborhoods were different than when we were kids. I think a lot of you are about the same age as I am. So neighborhoods were a lot different then. We had lots of friends. We'd all of us were about the same age. It was funny. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie this one off. Yep. Yeah, my grandma lived right down the street from me. So if Mom and Dad couldn't see me, Grandma usually could. So yeah, I couldn't get away with anything. My grandmother was right there all the time too. I think my grandmother wanted my mom and dad to live in her parents' house, which was right next door to her. But Mom thought that was just a little too close to her mom. So we lived down the street. But we couldn't go or do anything without Grandma seeing us because she would see us go past in the car and everything. My grandma was funny. Yep, everybody knew everybody. The thing is though, the neighborhood up there is still like that. I know most of the neighbors' names up there, even now after all these years of not being there. I know them better than I don't know the neighbors here at all. So, I don't know none of my neighbors' names. I never see anybody. All right, so we're doing our 1/4 inch seam, doing the other 2 triangles. We're having too much fun talking about the old days. Got to keep on task. It's fun to talk about stuff like that, though. All right. Got to get this lined up. I'm a little off down here in this corner. There we go. And these both have, whoops, just still a little crooked, aren't I? Let's see if I can get it straightened up. There we go. And again, these have those shape flex on the back. I don't. Yeah, you could sleep with the windows open. You never had to worry about things. Yeah, I know. I still feel like I could do that up at my dad's house. I don't feel comfortable here at all, but up there I do. It's pretty quiet up around my dad's place, and that's why I'm not real worried about the house. I've always, I haven't really. I'm not worried about the house. The neighbors are all good, and they all keep track of everything. So. Yep, you call people Mr. and Mrs. That is absolutely right. In fact, it's still hard for me to call people by their first names if they're older than me. Because that's the way we were brought up. You didn't do that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to press it towards the yellow border. Okay, so I'm going to go press these. All right, just about done. Missed a pin. Get it pressed nice and flat. I gotta get this, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming on this, I think. So we'll see here. So what does it say? So here's my corners and my center. My kids still do that and look at me that don't. Oh, I know. That's just something that I was taught that, and it's so hard for me. Like I actually taught in the school that I went to as a junior high student. I taught there. And most of the teachers that were there were actually my teachers in junior high. So boy, was it hard for me to call them anything but Mr. or Mrs. So it was like, that was really hard. I wasn't real young. I was like 25, 26 years old. So it wasn't like I was a real young kid, but oh my gosh, that was hard for me to call them by their first names. Very difficult. Okay. So now we've got those on. So now we need to square this up to 18 inches square. So the trick with this though is we want to make sure that there is a 1/4 of an inch here, from here to here. Okay. So I always take my ruler and I put it on that tip and I make sure that I have my 1/4 inch. If you have an 18-inch square ruler, then that would make it easier for you to do this. But I just do it with a straight ruler, but I always put my 1/4 inch line right here so that I don't lose my tips on my points in the middle, okay? All right, so let me go to I'm gonna have to go over and do this at my cutting table because it's too hard to do it here. So I will be right back, and this is gonna be squared to 18 by 18. This is step number 13, okay? So I like to lay it on my table. I lay it on my cutting table since I don't have a square ruler this big. And I like to get it nice and straight on a line. And then I use the top. I use my ruler and lay it down. And mine's just a little long. Not too much. But I always try to get it square on a line so I can judge. And it will take me a minute to do this. I'm sorry, I have to really look at the lines close. Mine's not too off though. But I like to do like the top and then I flip it over and do the opposite side and then I do the other sides because that way I remember where I'm at. If I start turning it, then I forget. This is pretty close though. Just got to pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay. On the third side, and I'm having a little trouble with this one. Give me a second here. This one's being contrary. There we Now I will tell you that mine usually end up being, you have a 20-inch ruler, that's cool. I wish I had one. I have one really big ruler, but it's really big. The 18 would be a nice size. I probably should just try to order an 18. Okay, so now just so you know, mine is just a little over 18. Mine ends up, because the thing is, you got to stay a quarter of an inch from this point here. So mine is just slightly bigger than 18. It's about 8, it's almost 18 and a half. It's like 18 and 3/8. Okay. So every one of these that I've done so far has been the same size. So and the borders fit okay. So I've never had any trouble, but I can't get it down to 18. And the same thing with that July one. That one has a smaller center, and I could not get it near as small as they said. Okay. Your largest is 16 and a half. Yeah, I think an 18 or an 18 and a half inch ruler would be really nice. The one I have is like 20 or 22, and it's really, really big, and it's so hard for me to get it organized. So I like I just use a straight ruler. And then I put it, like I put this line over here, the sides, I put it on my grid on my mat so that everything's straight. And usually I get along just fine with it. So, okay. So if the way in the instructions, we're not doing these like the instructions. Nancy, these are the Kimberbell Cuties. And I've got the Cuties book is up on the website, and you also need to have, there's a CD that has the embroidery designs on it. So this is just a sewing book. You have to have the book for the pattern and the CD. So Kimberbell Cuties. Okay. All right. So normally at this point, they would have you do the embroidery. But remember, we're doing these kind of backwards. So I am going to continue on, and we're going to put the borders on, because we're going to sandwich it and then quilt it. And you got the video is on YouTube on Sew Along with Jan. Look for the playlist Kimberbell Cuties, or it's on the Facebook group if you need help with the quilting. And I quilted it with the clear blue tiles. So we're going. This is the Cuties one. Yes, that is correct. These are the older ones. This is the old original ones. Yes. So we may do the other ones too. I wanted to. We'll talk more about that as we go along in the year here, but we may do the other ones too. All right. So now we need a couple of our blue borders here. So these we don't have to piece. So we need 2 of our blue borders, and we're going to put these on either side. So it doesn't matter which side. So we're going to go ahead and put these on the side here. So we're almost done. This was a nice, easy one. I liked this one. And I just love the little umbrellas. So I'll talk at the end about which embroidery design that I used as well. So if you kind of do the ends first, everything just seems to kind of fall into place. So sometimes I have to help it a little bit. I kind of encourage it down a little bit, but this is not too bad. So I'm going to kind of get the center here. Yeah, so this is the original Cuties book, and then there's a CD. So you have to buy both, the book and the CD, because the CD has the embroidery designs and the book just has the patterns, the piecing patterns. Now the new one is all done in the hoop, but I'm kind of thinking I want to do them more like these, because I like the fact that they can be quilted, and I don't really like stuff that's not quilted through the backing. So I'm going to do, I've got this the second set. I'm going to do one and see if I can do it the same way I'm doing these. And we just piece the blocks in the hoop, on no-show mesh, and then we sew the whole thing together and then quilt it and then do the embroidery. So I'm hoping I can do that with those as well. So we'll take a look. I'm going to take a look at those. Oh, the vinyl on no, I didn't put the vinyl on the umbrella. I didn't. I just used fabric. That would be really cute though. You could put that vinyl fuse Pellon has a product called Vinyl Fuse, and it makes it look kind of shiny. But yeah, that would be fine for the appliques. You could do that. I was afraid that I'd hit it with the iron, so I decided not to. I just put fabric on, but that would be really cute. Vinyl Fuse, it's a Pellon product. I use that. I've used that on quite a few things. I used it on the little April Showers tea towel that we did on Sew Along with, or on Shields Live. Okay, just about got these on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and sew these on. Yeah, that would be really cute to put those on. I like that idea. Very cute idea. Just be careful not to touch it with the iron. I'm very bad about that kind of stuff, so I didn't want to touch it with the iron. I'm not sure, yeah, that because you would do that after the quilting, so I definitely wouldn't want to quilt through that stuff, but just because I think it would look funny. So we're doing our 1/4 inch. Now, when we get down here to the little, the points, we want to make sure we are accurate with our 1/4 inch so that we don't go through that point. I'm just using fabrics. Clara, is that Clara that said? Oh yeah, hi Clara. I've just mostly been using the fabrics that I have at home. I haven't really bought much, with the exception of a few backings, because I didn't have enough to do 2. So I have bought a few backings, and like maybe a little bit of, not even any binding, mostly just backings. Because I didn't have like enough to do. I had enough to do 1, but not enough to do 2. And I'm doing 2 because I'm making, a set for Judy too. So. Oh yeah, the towel. Yeah, that's what I used it on. That would be really cute. Yes, I did not do that, but that would be really cute. So what I did in the little towel was I put that what do they call it? What I already said it once. Would I say it? Vinyl Fuse. There we go. That stuff worked really good. A lot of people use it for like making like something waterproof. Whoops. Just got stuck. So the trick is when you start, and that doesn't happen to me very often. We've gone through this before, but when you start, always start with your needle in the down position in your fabric, and then take a couple of short stitches, because you hardly ever get that eating problem that way. And just every now and then I'll get it, like I did there. Yeah, I really like this blue fabric. This was fabric, I think I got it from Missouri Star, I think. I think it was kind of a reproduction fabric that I'd gotten for something that I thought I was going to make, and then I ended up not making it, so I just used it for other stuff. I like the blue fabric though. All right. So we're just about done with this one. Yeah, this has been a fun one. This one was really fun, and I really enjoyed doing the water. Did I show you guys the watermelon and the flag? Have I shown you the watermelon and the flag ones yet? The June and July one? I couldn't remember if I showed you those or not. I can show you again when we get done. Yeah, Missouri Star. I'm hoping to be able to go down to Missouri Star this year, since I can actually get a little further away from home. All right, so let me go press these. I'm going to press these outward, okay? Oh, look, I've got points. Aren't you proud of me? I've got points. So in a second, I'll go press. I'm pressing out towards the border. I'm still really liking my new iron that Judy got me. My reliable, was it velocity or whatever? It's really cool. Oh, you did the watermelon, but not the flag? Oh yeah, this is a good way to use up stash. And I have been using mostly just stash. I mean, I some fat quarters, and and when I have to make two, I have to cut two of these. So, all right, so now we're going to do the other border, but we got to put our little corner blocks on first. So let me get my yellow. I made the corner blocks this cute little yellow. It doesn't it help, Betty? Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to sew our little corner blocks on here. Move this out of the way for a minute. So I got those little square corner blocks. We're going to put those on the end of each one of our last two borders here. Yeah, I'll show you I've got the May one done too. So we'll do the May one next month. I've got the May one done, and then I've got June and July, and then I'm going to start working on August pretty soon. Still doing a 1/4 inch seam. These are good ones to do though, because you really don't need a ton of fabric. It's amazing how little fabric you need. And then also, everybody be watching. I'm going to do the new. Did everybody see the post for the new Kimberbell square pillow? The one that's Life is Better in Full Bloom. Everybody see that? That one. I'm going to try to do that one. I hope in the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to make videos and upload them. Okay. Have I been embroidering on the borders of these, you mean? On these, you mean, Shannon? And but I'm going to try to do that one. I've got it cut out. I just need to pull some threads yet. So I'm hoping. I have a class I have to take next weekend. So I may not be able to work on it until the following week. So I'm not sure. I'm going to try to start it this week though. Oh, did you finish this one? This one, Jackie? On these borders, I quilted these borders. I did the overall pattern, Shannon. So yes, the borders are quilted, but it's an overall pattern. I didn't quilt them. I didn't quilt them separately. I did an overall, like an edge to edge pattern. Yeah, this was a nice, fun, easy one to do. I like it when they're easy when I have to do two. Judy's always excited to get her new table topper. All right, so I got these. Now, are you going to do the Merry Christmas Y'all pillow? Yes, Cindy, I am. I actually bought the kit, so yes, I will. It'll probably be in July. I'll probably do it for Christmas in July, okay? So I'll probably do it as a video series instead. So I did get it. I have the pad. I have the pattern and I have the kit now. I didn't understand your question, Shannon. You prefer something with edge to edge? Didn't quite understand that question. Okay, so with these borders, I'm going to press the seams in towards the blue border so that I can nest my seams. So I'm going to press these in towards the blue. I really like those new Kimberbell square pillows. I like all of them. All right. So I pressed my squares in. Yes, that's the Western Santa pillow. I wasn't going to do it. And then I thought, oh, maybe I should do it. And because I've done all the other ones, it is kind of cute. Oh, okay. All right. So then a second here. We're going to bring these, we're going to put these other borders on, and I press these towards the border so that I can nest my corners here. So we'll get the corners nested up here. I'm going to find some more pins again. I keep shutting my drawer with my pins. I'll take this over and get the other side. But yeah, I have a little trouble when I go to square these up. Mine are never quite the same size. They are just a little bit wider. They're just a little bit bigger just because I don't know. I suppose it's because of my 1/4 inch, or I've never yet gotten one to be exactly 18 inches square. I don't know how anybody could. Because if your other squares are, I don't know. And then the July one was really weird because the center's smaller, and I really had a hard time with that. I got it as small as I could possibly get it because I didn't want I didn't want to cut off my corners. So I got it as small as I could, but it was bigger. It was bigger and it was off enough that I really had a hard time getting that one squared up. Oh, they do. Really, they don't take that long. I was surprised when I started working on it. I was actually very intimidated by these. Now, I have to say the January one, I did that one first because I have to redo the corner design. I don't like the snowman that they put in the corner, and it's kind of mean looking. And so and it's also down in the seam allowance. So I couldn't do it like this. So I'm redoing the design, but I was very intimidated by those blocks. I don't know what it was about those snowball blocks. I had a hard time with them. But after I got going, the next one went faster, the little February one. And then March went real fast. So I've been enjoying these. I like to piece, and I just don't get to do it very often. So these are really fun. All right, get this one done. Just about done, guys. And then like I said, the video for the quilting is on the Facebook group, or the easier way to find it is to go, if you need to watch it again to do your quilting, it's on the go to Facebook and go to Sew Along with Jan, or I'm sorry, go to YouTube, go to Sew Along with Jan, and I'm going to go ahead and I am going to tie these corners off, or tie these borders off so they don't come off. And then go to the playlist, Kimberbell Cuties. And then the binding video is in there. Okay, so that's the easiest way to find it. YouTube is way easier to find stuff on than Facebook is. Facebook, they have more of a cataloging section now than they used to. So that's why I made the YouTube channel a couple of years ago, because it's so much easier to find the videos. The videos were so hard to find on Facebook because nothing has a title on it. And now I think they allow you to put a little bit of like folders and stuff in, and that was not the way they had it before. Oh yeah, the rectangle, they're making them rectangular instead of, yeah, I think I saw some pictures on Facebook about the new ones, you mean? I think it was the new ones they were doing that with, weren't they? Not these, but the new ones. Those would be really cute. I like the square ones though. All right, so I'm going to carefully go over that because I don't want to lose my corner there. And I'm going to tie this end off. Yeah, the YouTube playlists are so much easier to find. And if you need a certain project or you need a certain video, that is way easier than trying to find it on Facebook. And that's why I did the YouTube channel in the first place. And then it just sort of blossomed into something else, because I originally just did it just to help everybody find the videos. But YouTube actually has been really fun. I've met a lot of really, really nice people on YouTube. So, all right, so let's see here. Yeah, Facebook is weird sometimes for videos. It depends on what you're watching on. My phone always shuts off in the middle of videos, but like my tablet doesn't seem to. And then if I watch on YouTube, I can actually put it up on the TV. I like to put it up on my big TV. It's way easier than Facebook. You can cast from Facebook, but it depends on the type of device you're using and how you can cast. Because I can cast in the living room, but I can't cast on the two TVs out here. So the TV out here and the TV in my bedroom, I can't cast on from Facebook. All right, we're about done. Look at this. Isn't this going to be cute? And I'll show you some of the other ones too. I can't remember if I've shown you. I think I've shown you all of them, but maybe not the July one. I wasn't quite done with the July one last time I showed you these. So they turned out really cute. Just about got this one. Yeah, these are good stash busters. Yeah, and see my TV, one of my TVs I can cast really easy to, Shannon, but the one in my bedroom was my dad's TV, and it was a pretty low-end TV. It wasn't real fancy. It's a smart TV, but it does not have a casting feature. You have to have an app, and there's just no app. And I can cast to the ones I have, my other ones, like my Toshibas. I can cast to all of those. That's no problem. Okay, let me go press these. I'm going to press it out. And I didn't even cut off my corners, guys. Looks pretty good. That's always a big deal. All right. Oh my gosh, isn't that cute? This is going to be so fun. Look at there. We got them all done. Oh, look how low my bobbin is. Yeah, well, no. Well, you know, this bobbin, for some reason, kind of wound kind of funny. So it's got more at the bottom at the top. I don't know why. But this one, normally my bobbin winder doesn't do that. But for some, I wonder if I wound this on a different bobbin winder. I think I wound this at the store. My bobbin winder at the store is a little funky sometimes. All right, what do you think? There is our finished top. And then, of course, you want the next steps would then be to batting, backing, pin based, and do the quilting. And if you need to go watch the quilting video, sew along with Jan on YouTube, playlist Kimberbell Cuties, and you'll find that if you need to go back again. Okay, that looks really nice. I like it. Okay, now if you give me a second, I'll go grab the other. Yeah, I kind of like yellow and blue together. I think it's just really pretty, very springy. All right, so let me go grab the other ones so that I can show you the May, June, and July ones, just so, in case you haven't seen them. So just a second here. I'll bring the camera up. Gotta switch my camera here just a minute. Okay. All right, just a second. Let me grab them. So this is May. I haven't got the January one here. So here's May. This is the one with the little flowers. And this one had pinwheels. So these are not hard blocks either. So some of them are just plain and some of them are pinwheels. So this was a fun one. This is May. And then this is June. So June's the one with the watermelons. And this one takes a little while because you have to do that ruching. And then, see, you put the little ants around the outside edge. Aren't those cute? So this one was fun. This one took me a little longer because there was a little more embroidery on this one. But it was really fun. Okay, so there's my little, and this one is another one that is the disappearing 9 patch is the center. Okay, so that's the June one. All my ruching, I got the ruching done. I don't care for the way they did the rinds, so I did mine with ruching. So it's takes a little bit longer, but it's cute. And then here's the July one with the flags. Okay, so this is the one I had a little trouble with. So if you're moving on to this one, you know, if you have a question, I had to make my seams really tiny in my borders because I could not get this as small as they said it was supposed to be. So I would tell you to cut these borders 1/4 of an inch longer. Then they will fit better. Okay. So, but it turned out fine. I got it to work. It turned out fine, but I learned from it. And the center is smaller on this one too. The whole thing is just a little smaller. It was about an inch smaller or so. So there's the July one. And then this one's January. So this is the first one I did. And I had to redo the corner because I wanted to bring the snowman up out of the corner. So I redid the snowman. I made a new design. So that's how I'm going to do this one. But we'll do this one in December. So this is the January one. We'll do this one in December. Okay, so the binding, somebody said the binding's perfect. It's really not. But there's a binding video too. So remember that the binding video is also on YouTube. Sew Along with Jan. And then the playlist, Kimberbell Cutie. So I did a binding video also. So if you want to see how I do my binding, I use the little zigzag stitch. It works pretty well. All right. Okay. So next time we will do the embroidery on these. And I wanted to tell you too what I used for the quilting. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze. I used, it has little, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? It has little umbrellas. It has little umbrellas on it. And I think it was the Kimberbell Spring 1. Spring 1, I think is what it was. And it has little umbrellas and like little raindrops. So that's the one I used to quilt this one. You can quilt it with anything you want, but I just thought the little umbrellas were cute. So, okay. So next week we'll do our embroidery. And again, I did that through the back. So here's the back of it. Had changed the bobbin a couple times. So we'll do that next week. Okay. And then, oh, the quilting, who said that? The quilting is really actually, I mean, I love the clear blue tiles because of the quilting's easy. It makes it easier to do it. I've been real happy with those. I really resisted the clear blue tiles, but once I got started using them, I actually really like them. And you don't have to join them like you do. You don't have to join them like you do some of the other edge to edge ones. So I like that. So, okay. So we have to give away a prize. Where'd it go? It's over here somewhere. So next week we'll get together and we'll do the embroidery. Okay, so get your little table toppers quilted this week. I got to get mine quilted too. So I may not get to the other pillow till the following week. So we'll see. I have to quilt this at home. I don't have a big enough machine at the store to quilt it. So I have to quilt it at home. All right, so let me grab my tablet here. And we're going to give away the little. So the way you got entered is to comment. Okay. So we're going to give away the little Hoppy Easter mini quilt. And this goes in that little 6-inch, that little 6-inch stand. And then I've got one of the little St. Patty's Day pins too, to go with it. Okay. We did that in Shields Live on Thursday. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to get my tablet up here. Whoops, second here. I made it mad. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get my replies to come back up again. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take the names, and if you're away from here, if you can't come to the store, if you're away from here, make sure that you personal message me through Facebook your mailing address so I can mail this to you. Okay. All right. So we got to get our name here. And if you're close enough, if you don't mind just coming to pick it up, that'd be great. All right. So I'm going to put my finger down on the name. And it is Maureen McKenna. Is it Ciata? Is that how you say your name, Maureen? Is it Ciata? Oh, I like these too. So I wear these for St. Patrick's Day because I don't have much green. So Maureen, you won the little banner and the little pin. Okay. So I assume you're in the United States. I'm not going to ship outside of the United States. I think you're in the United States though. So go ahead and personal message me your mailing address, and I'll drop this in the mail for you tomorrow. Okay. All right. All right. Maureen. That's awesome. I've had several people I've had to ship them to, so that's kind of cool. So I'll write that down so I know who got it this time. So, okay. So next week we're going to finish up our cutie. We're going to do the embroidery on the umbrellas. And we are going to, then we'll go on and we're going to do another, what did I decide to do? Oh, a scan and cut class. The next week will be a scan and cut class. The last week of March will be a software class, but I haven't decided what to do. So that's something I work on at the store. Okay. I'm only oh, okay. All right. So Maureen, don't forget to send me your mailing address. Okay. So everybody have a great week, and I will see you next week and we'll do a little embroidery on our April Cutie. So thanks everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.